Hey, good morning, and thanks for waking up with me. So today I want to yak at you a little bit about how are you living. Recently I posted a video asking the question, is our food killing us? And that has led me off into increased research and some thinking and some contemplating and a variety of other things. And by the way, if you plug in the words, is our food killing us, into Google, you'll find about 377 million hits on just that phrase alone. And that's because it's a worldwide issue. It's not just here in the United States, it's everywhere. But right here in the United States, the point I made in the last video was that I feel like maybe we're taking a harder hit from COVID-19, possibly because of our food, because that's what affects our bodies inside and our resistance to nature's viruses and illnesses and bacteria and all those sorts of things. And we have the advantage of living in a developed country with good infrastructure for the most part, and that allows us better hygiene than a lot of other places. And of course, we do have our homeless problems, and we do have some other situations. So we do have people who are living their lives with food insecurities and things like that. It's far from perfect here. It's far from perfect here. But that's not really my point today about this conversation, although now that I've said it out loud, maybe it should be. But we'll save that for another video. But as a consequence of looking at things and reading through things and thinking about my topic the other day, I started paying attention to a lot more labels in my own cabinet and reading through things. And I feel like I eat fairly healthy. I feel like I'm been fairly conscious. But instead I'm waking up to the possibility that I've fallen into the same false sense of security that these organic things I'm eating, these healthy food options I'm eating, these nutritional snacks, these things like that I occasionally endeavor into, that the reality is a lot of it's got chemicals in it. A lot of it's got a lot of additives in it. A lot of it has fructose in it, and I'm not sure about you, but I don't consider a healthy snack full of fructose. That's just the opposite of what I was hoping for, or what I was intending to do with what I wanted to do. So I'm trying to eat more just real food. And in my particular case, because of some other things and because of my tendency in my own past, I had slipped off the vegetarian path, and I'm headed back. I'm headed back for a number of reasons, and among them is the chemicals, and including antibiotics and steroids and things like that we feed our cattle and our poultry and pork and all the meat sources that we have. The United States allows many chemicals that a lot of other countries around the world just simply don't even allow, and that's because we've allowed lobbyists to influence our FDA and get things passed that probably shouldn't have passed. And that concerns me. It doesn't surprise me. I've long not trusted politicians, and I still don't. And I definitely don't on election year. So we'll end up talking about this immunity, this vaccine that's coming up pretty soon in another video. But for this one, I want to make the point that maybe you should look in your cabinet. Maybe you should look at what you're eating, because I thought I was eating healthy, and I learned a surprising fact. And I am currently in California, and this is the last week of July in 2020. And the COVID-19 cases are rising every day. And they were already too high, but they're staggering at this point. And the possibility that I'm going to get COVID sooner or later is very real. There were a couple months ago when I got fairly ill, and I survived whatever that was. So I may have had it. But I also heard of a case recently of a man who had it. He was tested. They confirmed he had it. He survived it. He was okay for several weeks. And he got it again, and it killed him. Now, the good news about that, if there's any good news about someone dying, is that it appears that the mortality rate is only about 1%. The bad news is, if you have 300 million people, that's still 300,000 people. We're only halfway there. We're only halfway there, and it's shut down our economy. It's affecting our mental state. People are terrified. We don't know what to do. I myself have been fighting with depression because I don't know what to do with my company. I don't feel good about bringing my guys back. I don't feel good about working with them, and I really like my guys. So it's not that. It's just I don't want to get sick, and I don't want to make them sick. You know, I don't even know which one I'm more worried about. You know, who's going to make who sick? I'm an older guy. But about the food you're eating, the exercise you're getting or not getting, what you're doing with your life, the things we take for granted here in the United States so often, so many of us. I think we need to take another look at it. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat or progressive or liberal or libertarian or what you call yourself. If you're watching this video, you're probably a human being. And if you're a human being, there's a chance you're going to get this illness. And there's a chance it's going to kill you, or at least make you very ill. And the long-term effects of getting ill from this are still yet to be known. But increasingly hear stories about the after effects and the lingering damage that's done. So hopefully that'll dissipate over time, but right now we don't know. And what we don't know might kill you. So I'm not going to tell you how to live because we're still trying to figure out what we should do. But I am going to ask you to think about how you're living and to do the best you can. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted the people around you, the people that you love, that they're going to be okay. If you're not wearing a mask and you're breathing on people that you care about, what are you thinking? You know, I guess you could qualify this as, you know, your state of liberty. You can breathe on whoever you want. You have a right to live in this country, but that's really not quite true. It's really not. And it hasn't been for a really long time. And it shouldn't even be a debate. It really shouldn't. We're human beings. And although there's always been violence, there's always been an underlying tone that most of us try to help each other out. So don't go so indignant about your liberty that you're not watching how you're going to live and how you're going to take care of your family and how you're going to survive this COVID thing until we figure something out about it, until we know more about how to treat it so we can help you survive it, until we know how to prevent it, until we know how to turn the tide on it and overcome it so we can get back to work, get back to living, get back to our hobbies, get back to so many things, and get back to seeing family and loved ones that many of us are missing out on right now. And the best way to do it that I see it is, let's just all try to stop at the same time and wait this thing out and let it die where it's at. You know, the fact that there's increasing cases is because we're spreading it. That's why. We aren't born with it. We're all running around getting it. We're all running around breathing on other people or being exposed to other people who are breathing it out and leaving it for us to contract. And then we're taking it home, or we're taking it to work, and we're giving it to our friends, our neighbors, our family, our loved ones, our children, our parents. We're giving it away to people that, you know, what are you doing? That's like walking around with a gun and just shooting people. How is that right? So I started this out about food. And I kind of made this a little bit more than that. But let's take care of ourselves so we can take care of others. And let's not forget that there are others who count on us. Even if you think you're alone, there are people who count on you. By the way, you're not alone. I don't even know you, but I care about you. And I don't want to breathe on you and give you something that you may not live through. So, I'm going to eat the best food that I can afford. I'm going to avoid as many chemicals as I can, because I don't want to compromise my natural immunity that I was born with. And I'm exercising more than I have since I was a kid. I'm out on this bike path that I'm on right now. I'm out here at least once a week minimum, and I ride no less than 30 miles when I'm out here. And I'm not saying that you have to do that if you're not physically up to that. That's obviously not where you're going to start. But by the way, if you're not physically up to that, take that as a warning sign that it is. Because if you can't breathe long enough to come out and do some simple basic exercise, to walk around the block several times without being out of breath, you should know, by the way, there's a respiratory illness out there that's killing Americans every day. And if you can't breathe with a mask on, you should stay home. So if you like what I'm saying, if I make you think, if I make you mad, make you happy, hit that, smash that subscribe button if you would, please. I'd appreciate it, and I definitely would appreciate your comments. I expect some pushback on some of the things I said today. I'm certainly getting on my other social media outlets, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.